Math 8, Unit 4, Lesson 6, Part 1, Slopes and Intercepts of Linear Equations. First, you should know what intercepts are. The x-intercept of a line is the x-coordinate of the point where the line crosses the x-axis. It occurs when y equals 0. So x-intercept is where you cross the x-axis, and it is this numerical value where that happens. The y-intercept of a line is the y-coordinate of the point where the line crosses the y-axis. It occurs when x is 0. So x is 0, we get our y-intercept. We use the letters A and B for these intercepts. So for the x-intercept we use A, and for the y-intercept we use B. It's just kind of a convention. And this gives us something called slope-intercept form. And we discovered this through that worksheet where we graphed a line using slope and then did a translation with it. But a linear equation written in the form y equals mx plus b is in slope-intercept form. The slope of the line is m and the y-intercept is b. So we already knew from previous lessons that that was going to be m. That was going to be the slope. Now this, it's just the y-intercept. It actually, you can think of it as a translation in the y direction of either up or down. If I'm adding 3, for example, it moves everything in the graph up 3. So usually when I would graph y equals 2x, I would just go through the origin up 2 over 1. If I do y equals 2x plus 3, instead of starting at the origin, I start up 3 units and then do my slope of 2. So it's just like doing a translation on the whole thing. Okay. Find the slope and y-intercept of the graph of each linear equation. All right. So the main thing here is it's solved for y. Once it's solved for y, the slope is the coefficient of x. Here it's -4. You probably want to think of that as a fraction, so you can graph it. And the y-intercept here, which frequently gets abbreviated with y-int, or just the letter b, would be -2. In fact, we probably would say m is -4, b is -2, and just use m and b as our abbreviations because they're the letters that generally get used for slope and intercept. Okay, next example. Once you are solved for y, you can just find the slope and intercept from the numbers. This is not solved for y though. I add 5 to both sides, and now y is by itself. And with y by itself, we can tell the slope is 3/2, and the y-intercept is 5. Okay, doing it again. Find the slope and y-intercept of the graph. Well, right here on this first one, y equals 3x minus 7, the slope is just going to be 3. The y-intercept is going to be -7. Next example, y minus 1 equals -2/3 of x. We need to get y by itself first, and y is -2/3 x plus 1. So the slope is -2/3, the y-intercept is 1. Another example, find the slope and y-intercept of the linear equation. All right, before we can do it on this one, we have to solve for y. So I'm going to subtract 2x on both sides. This gives me 3y is 6 minus 2x. Then we can divide both sides by 3. I need to distribute this division. 6 divided by 2 is, or 3 is 2. -2 divided by 3 is -2/3. So we get 2 minus 2/3 x. And kind of want to clean that up a little bit. Let's get those off of there. Here, I'll just do this. I just don't want it looking like that. Okay. And then we can identify the slope and intercept. The slope is the number in front of x, -2/3, the coefficient of that term, and the y-intercept is the number without x on it, in this case 2. Okay, x equals 2y minus 4. This one is not solved for y, so we'd have to solve it for y first. We go ahead and add 4 to both sides. So x plus 4 equals 2y. Then we can divide by the 2, again distributing here. X divided by 2 is 1/2 x. 4 divided by 2 is 2. Now that y is by itself, we can identify the slope and the intercept. The slope is 1/2, the intercept is 2. Y equals 3 times x minus 4. It is solved for y, but we do need to distribute here, so it's an mx plus b form. So this is y equals 3x minus 12. So the slope is 3, the y-intercept is negative 12.